Back. We're gonna call this one the Champions Edition. This is volume 32 of Top Bins, and it's looking a little different tonight. I have the head coach and I'm the assistant coach. Number one fan. Assistant coach. He is on the sidelines the whole game. Of the newly crowned 2024-2025 Bermuda Premier League champions, the North Village Rams. Got Calvin Patchesdeal. Welcome to the show, Patchy.
Yes, welcome to the audience and to you. Glad to be here.
Good to have you on. And Raya back.
Yeah. There's better circumstances.
We got a few new tools since you came.
That.
You got more hardware.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, so some things have changed, but we'll talk about it. Mm-hmm. So Patches, let's get right into it. How you feeling right now? You're halfway there. I know that.
Yes, I'm halfway there, but I have a lot of joy in my feelings, in my heart, that I've come back to my family club and bought my championship.
Lifelong club.
Lifelong club. Yeah, goes back history. I've got like 50 plus years of this club in my life. So, and decades of it. So it's been a joy to come back and help the North Village Rams.
I know you've coached with other teams. Have you ever played for another team?
No, never played football for no other team.
Just Village.
Just North Village.
Even in Masters.
Just North Village.
North Village through and through. What about cricket? You ever played for anybody other than
I've played Connie Cups for Willocuts.
Okay.
Western Connie for Willocuts.
Okay.
And Central Connie with.
But no league cricket for
No league cricket with nobody else.
Just
Bay and North Village.
The family.
White family.
All right. So Patchy, you took over midway.
Yeah, I say midway season, probably in December. I probably really took over the team.
Okay, because we all know you didn't start the season as a coach. No. You were on the coaching staff, or?
Yes, I came in as the assistant coach in September. I came maybe July. July I came in as the assistant coach.
Because what people probably don't know is you actually won the FA Cup last year. As part of the coaching staff.
Yes, as the coaching staff of St. George's.
Yes.
Me and John T, as a matter of fact.
It was part of the plan long term.
Was part of that St. George's team that beat up when the North Village Rams last year.
Yeah, and
was bittersweet.
And to be fair, your mate sitting next to you, he held his hands up and he said that was St. George's Day.
Yep. Most definite. And back to that time, and I told the St. George's guys, we have to take 11 footballers up at the National Stadium to play North Village.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so done that the coach, Jerome Hayward, said okay. And that's what we went with, and we was able to compete with them. And ended up coming out on top.
Yeah, I mean, it was carnage up there. Now, as the season started, were you using what happened last season? Because it wasn't just the FA Cup. In the league, you guys dropped an egg in basically a do-or-die, winner-takes-all match with PHC that just happened to be up the carpet as well. Were you using that as motivation? Last year's sort of, I guess, failures or shortcomings to inspire the boys this year?
Yes, I never let them forget it, so that they always saw the line this time and knew they had to get across it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And make them believe and know that they could get across it.
Now, Rai, as sort of a player, because you're closer to the players' age than management, you're more in tune with the players on and off the field. Was that something that was spoken about? Because besides Jante and maybe one or two other, I think Judah was new this year. It's the same team. It's the same team that, like I said, they fell short. Were they tuned in from jump? Like, did this start last year, or is this something that, like Patchy said, was just spoken about as the season started?
It was spoken about, but it wasn't dwelled on. Like,
exactly.
We didn't go there. It was like, okay, we're not gonna do what we done last season. We were just like, last season happened. We're just gonna make sure that it doesn't happen again. And like Patrick said, we didn't go there. It was never mentioned in the team talk before the game, during the game. It was just go there and play your football.
Right.
And that was our mantra for the whole entire season.
And the season didn't start. Okay, let me ask you this, Patchy. When the season started, were you thinking league title? Or
I was thinking everything.
that's a boy.
Because
That's the North Village way.
That's the North Village way, and not any of that there. You want to create winners. Winning becomes a habit. You know what I mean? So you want to create winners.
So you
I
felt
don't mind losing,
no.
but I prefer to win.
So you felt you had a team that could win the league.
Yes, I definitely felt I had a team that could win the league because the young guys play football.
I
They've
would-
been playing football all their lives.
I would agree with you. I definitely had North Village in the mix.
And we had experienced players.
Very.
You look at Taryn Free, you look at John T. Smith, you look at
Trey Mean.
Trey Manders.
Your captain.
Right, my captain, D. Bauer, by Raheem Sampson. Then you got Liam, Chemo. Then you bring in the guys like Judah.
I always forget you got Wonder Boy.
Yeah, you always,
He just sort of flies under the radar,
yeah,
you
man.
know?
And a great player.
He's useful.
very useful.
He's the most underrated player in this country.
Yes, man.
You think so?
Bar none. Because everyone, because of his body structure, everyone's, let's go pick on him. And every team has a game plan to pick on Chemo. And Chemo.
Oh, Chemo. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Liam.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking
Yes.
about Chemo. You
Oh,
get the
Chemo-
man too,
Chemo's
but
the left back.
Chemo
The
is
left back.
100% the most underrated player in the country.
Now, I'll be honest with you. Patchy, you've known this for years. Rye, we're just sort of met, and you're caught on pretty quickly. I'm not the biggest Village fan, right? Because you know, it's
Yes.
either you love them or you hate them.
Hate 'em, yes.
And I grew up, they were winning everything.
Yes.
Keith, Jamaica,
Yes.
Kentwan, like the Jennings
Yes.
family.
Yes.
It was unbearable. Streaker and girl,
Yes.
blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Won everything. Triple Crown that year.
Yes.
Keith's probably the best player I've ever seen when he's on his game.
Yes.
But anyway, haven't been to too many Village games. I haven't really been to too many football games this year. I started to go because Light is, on
Right.
board with the show.
Right.
So I started to go to some Dandy Town games just so I could understand what he's talking about.
Okay.
So as the season started, I was thinking Dandy Town would maybe fight. Didn't really have the squad depth for me.
Right.
You guys would be up there. PHC would be up there. I wasn't really sure if anybody else would get up. I figured it would be between the two of you, and then if Dandy Town could hold their own, they could maybe put the name in the hat.
Right.
It turned out it was you and PHC. You guys sort of finished the season a little stronger. You had your blip.
Yes.
You had your blip. But let's go back to the start of the season when it all got off and running. It starts with the Dudley Eve, obviously. As the season got underway, were you pleased with how it started or a little concerned? Because the results were there and then they weren't, and then they would, it was sort of a bumpy start.
Yes, it was a bumpy start, but when you look at it, our first 2 games, I think we had to play Tyne and goal.
Yes.
Because of through DJ's suspension.
Which was awkward.
Awkward, yes. You know what I mean? But we had to deal with it.
You have to deal with it.
You know what I mean?
And
then,
did.
If you look at it, we drew 1-1 against Paget, where we was up 1-0. They got a late goal. Then we go up to Social Club. But again, with the DJ situation,
We won the game,
we
but
won
we
the
lost
game, but we lost it. So that was another little bit.
Explain that one
So
for me.
what happened, he had to miss 2 games.
Right.
Instead of 1, but we only thought he had to miss the first one. And ended up playing him in the second one against the Social Club.
And that was the controversy.
And that was the controversy
because the rumors were, and again, you know me, I'm in tune with the things that happen, is that you had asked, is he clear? And he was on the list.
Also, not to overspeak on that, but how it is now, apparently BFA has like a online portal, quote unquote, that you put in the players that are on your team sheet, starting subs, etc.
And it should tell you.
So obviously, if a player suspended, then you're not allowed to select him in the portal. But his name was available in the portal, so the administrative staff took that as DJ had his 1-game suspension, so he's eligible to play. Then after the game, we find out, you're supposed to miss 2 games, so another suspension on top of that, and 3 points taken away. So that was the whole.
And effectively out of the Dudley Eve.
Effectively, we was already done.
Right.
Effectively, we was already done.
And you didn't make it out of the group stage then.
No.
So
No, that
because it's just straight semifinals
right.
there.
That would
so.
have kept us in the
that would've
semifinals
kept us
to the semifinals.
Right. So dealing with that, kind of use it. A lot of teams use it as sort of a gauge, a warm up, get the legs turned over. You weren't too upset with that, I'm sure. The situation maybe, but not the overall.
And to me, it's like a preseason tournament.
Yeah, agreed.
I told them guys not enjoy this. That's what it's like. It's like a preseason tournament because we don't get too much practice matches of quality.
Agreed.
Before the season or the dot year starts.
I feel like that's an international problem.
Yeah,
too.
so what you do, you have to take that in and say, okay, we ain't really have we've been training, but we ain't really have no game time. You know what I mean? The game's played 90 minutes. You don't really doing training. If you can't, nobody ain't conducive for the 90 minutes. So the more game time you get, the fitter you can get, the better you can get. So it's all a process of getting to where we are.
Now, you mentioned training, right? This has been a big one for you guys because a lot of people won't know this. You lot haven't had many, if any, trainings on grass since the season started.
We had one, which was Thursday going.
Yeah.
Which was Thursday going.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thursday going is our first session.
On grass.
So for the record, for those that don't put 2 and 2 together and get 4, you start training in August.
Yes.
The season starts the end of September into October with the
Yes.
Dudley Eve and then the league starting in October. You have had one training session on your home field in 7 months.
In 7 months. One training session on our home field.
And that is because the lights.
The lights and the construction work they was doing at the field. So you couldn't afford nobody to be able to, somebody run on a wire, they look, guys electrocuted or something.
But then there's also daylight savings as well. We ain't got as much. We ain't got
No,
majority of the season is dog 5:45.
Exactly.
And another, so for those that don't really follow football or that kind of follow football, for the first half of the season, Village is playing on a random Saturday down at Wellington Oval. Village is playing on a random Saturday night at BAA.
Yeah.
Out the rack. Basically, you were getting put where they could fit you.
Exactly. We had to
You had to adapt to that.
Adapt to that. Put most of our home games to away games until the field was able to be operated and played on.
But a few of those games down Wellington Oval were actually a home game, right?
Yes. Yes. I think 2 of them on there was home games.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you've managed, no, this is the big one in Bermuda, training numbers. Where were you training and were the boys tuned in and showing up?
Okay, we had 2 options. We had a gym on Tuesday nights and a BFA at 7:30 on a Thursday night.
Up at the fake pitch.
After the fake pitch.
Okay.
So I went to the boys and said, well, listen, how we gonna do this, sir? We got a gym. They said, yeah, we just go for the gym Tuesday nights. I said, listen, Thursday nights, you guys looking from training from 8 o'clock. The first one went to 8. So for all, we're looking from 8 to 9. Said, I know you guys all got families.
Yeah.
You guys, when they be home, you know when they get home, you've been out working all day, you're getting home. At 9 o'clock, 9:30, your children, food, whatever you might, when you spend some time with your children, they committed. They said, Coach, we're going up there at 7:30, 8 o'clock. So the first 2 times we was up there, we judged it, and then we was able to get to 7:30 because the national squad girls were training.
Right.
And they was coming off the field at 7:30. So we was allowed to go on right after them. So the time broke down a little bit. But they committed. The numbers, I'm at 2 sessions with probably 9 guys. The rest of the sessions been 12 plus. GM and on the field. And on the BFA field.
And that's the type of commitment that it takes to do.
And with that commitment, this is the rewards they're getting.
Yeah.
And by gym, we mean indoor.
Indoor.
And the school, 2 small girls and
Just having a kick.
Yeah, man.
It's having a backyard
Like,
load, but
no
inside.
tactics, no do this, go there, have fun with your brethren.
Yeah, man. And to me, that's a big part of local football. Building a family. Building guys' time with each other. Not always mentally getting into their brain.
And it's funny you say about kind of not knowing if they're going to buy into that late training session, because as Robin Hood, when we were sort of coming up and doing well, winning things, we were training at 8 o'clock or BAA.
Yeah.
And some nights you just have to say, all right, I'm working with 4 guys because like you said, family, work. So we had the same issue. Once everybody bought in, that's what you get. You get the trophies, you get the rewards, you get the good times.
Exactly.
So yeah, that is incredible that you've had one training session throughout the whole season on grass, on your home patch. So yeah, we get into Christmas. Table was sort of tight, you know. I think everybody was where they expected to be at the time.
Yes.
Those that were in touching distance of the top were supposed to be there. Those that weren't. When you get into the Christmas tournament, North Village is notorious for having kids, talented young players, and in this day and age, a lot of them are away in school. You got 3 or 4 back.
Yeah.
Were you expecting more out of the winter tournament, the Christmas tournament, or do you think you did?
Yes, we went into that tournament expecting to win, and I must take my hat off to this guy every time I see him. Quincy Hunt stopped us from playing in the finals.
Commissiong.
Stopped us from playing.
I heard about this save.
That day there, the first time ever, and I was Nancy George for 3 years. First time I'm ever watched the Poets look at one goal for 45 minutes. Now we had to look to the rest in the end of the field. And this guy was just flying around this goal. Every time I see him, I tip my hat to him. What a performance.
So that was semifinals,
That was
right?
the semifinals. That was the semifinals.
He had literal angels around his goalpost for 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It happens.
Yeah,
It's part of football.
It happens. It's what it's supposed to do.
And then from there, just piggyback on that, after the game, no one was really upset. No one was like, "Oh, the season's over," because we all understand football.
You do get that a lot in Bermuda. You lose a trophy, you lose 2 trophies, and to be honest, the Triple Crown's nice.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's hard.
awesome.
It's hard.
I think the last one was Cougars.
Cougars,
and they were riding the memorial or the memory of Timini.
Yeah.
So they kind of had that fuel behind them, and
Exactly.
but what a team that was.
Yeah,
to be
it was-
fair.
it was-
Before that, you guys,
It was awesome.
and that was
That was another phenomenal team.
That to me is the best team I've ever seen in Bermuda,
Yeah,
personally.
man.
And I could be biased, but
I tell you what, to say that they have to have won the Triple Crown.
Yes.
So that the fact that they have, you can
Yes.
easily throw them in the.
Yes.
So you get through Christmas. Now you are full-time head coach.
Full-time
Circumstances lead you to this
Leads
position.
me to this position.
Club Rye, I'm going to ask you this because you're, like I said, you're the man that's more involved with the players. Club happy to see Patchy come in?
well, even though he wasn't officially the coach until about December, he was the main coach for
Got you.
85% of the season anyway. Because everybody knows whatever happened. And then unofficially, he was still assistant coach, but he was still the main coach, naming the team, doing the sessions, everything. So it was, in my opinion, it was his
It was
full
just
season.
seamless. Yeah.
So it wasn't like no adjustment period or anything. It was just like, we all know what it is. We keep your noise down, just focus on our game. And that's exactly what we done.
And right out of the blocks, top of the table clash. Dandytown Hornets, you're back at home. All the construction's done. It's a new year. The park's back open. I would have liked to have seen a bigger crowd down there. I'm not going to lie.
Me too.
But I think that was more so because it was a Saturday game. Saturday games are never,
was a Saturday game,
Never
that's
get the
true.
crowd that a Sunday game does. And for me, obviously the schedule makers could be like, you see a top of the table clash. You could maybe purposely make that on a Sunday.
What do they call it in the end? Flex schedule?
Flex schedule,
Yeah.
yeah. Flex schedule.
But that's why it was like when I started on Saturday, I was like, just as small things like that just make a real big difference. You know what I mean?
So how are you approaching the second half of the season, Patchy? Dandytown, right out the gates, you're back at home. What are you telling the boys?
For one, we're back at home.
There you go.
We lost the week before that, our first game, to St. George's.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. We lost that one deal. And we turned around. I told them again, I said, you never let nobody come in your house and just steal. Yeah?
Fair enough.
So today, we need 3 points. And all I asked for was 110%.
And I'll tell you, I was actually at that game. I was down in the park Saturday afternoon. I've said this for maybe 2 or 3 years, and you can agree or disagree. You're the coach, you see it more often. Angelo Angoda had 2 great chances in the first half. Your skipper's back there. In my opinion, he's one of 2 reasons you won the league. If if we're breaking it down, D-Tray makes 2 phenomenal saves. The one off Angelo, even Beachy turned and looked at the fans and was like, "Hey, that's what it's there for." He basically won the game for you, because then in the second half, you guys sort of steamrolled over Dandytown. So is that something that you're just growing accustomed to? Like, we will give up chances, but he's back there, so we're confident.
Exactly. So for me, like I said, defensive, win championships. Goalkeeper's part of your defense. And again, that's his job. And throughout the season, D-Tray has been marvelous for us. As a skipper, he has been marvelous for us. And that's his job. Like you said, that's his job. You know what I mean? And his cap was in a lot of games. Whereas I've been missing goals up front. And he's been down there having to save something, getting the attitude, but he's doing his job, telling off everybody doing his job.
As a proud member of the goalkeeping union of the world, I do think he takes it a little over the top sometimes.
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
Some of the time.
Not sometimes. It's all the time.
I do think, like,
his
D-Tray...
heart's on his sleeve.
100%.
All day, all night.
And he panics. He tell you straight up. He panics.
Oh, yeah.
He's scared. He's nervous. He's nervous every game.
He always seems so calm. We are going to be joined by Dandytown's head coach.
No problem.
He's on his way in.
D-Tray is on his way too. So let's get all the good stuff over first.
Get all the good content.
Yeah, when he comes, we'll talk about some halls.
But yeah, so you're playing Dandytown. We're joined by Dandytown coach Kyle Lightbourne. Lady, there's a chair behind you. You want to jump in? Well, you could come over here, but we won't be able to get you on camera. So, 2 great saves. You win the game in the second half. You come off the field. I could see you guys were buzzing. There seemed to be a bit of a shift of momentum after that game. Did you guys feel that? Because it was evident.
Yeah, we felt it because they was the hardest team.
They sure
coming
were.
into the new year.
Won the friendship.
Was the hardest team. Won the friendship. They're the hardest team into the new year. Had we had lost that game there, they'd have been ahead. They'd have been like 3-4 points ahead of us. You know what I mean? So them are the type of games you train to play in. Them type of matches.
Those are the games you want to play.
That's the games you want to play. That's the games you want to win. You know?
And then also the only type of games where if anything happens from there, it's on you. Because we was the ones with the point advantages at that point. So if we went and just won all the rest of our games, we ain't got to worry about it. Dandytown picked up points or dropped points or anything because it's in our hands. So for me, that was a psychological factor that played in our hands as well. It's like, no, the ball's in our court.
And if only it was that simple, right? Just go win the rest of our games. It was six games left after that in the league. Just go win 6 games, coast to the title, boom, boom, blam. It does not work that way, does it?
It don't work that way.
Because you did have a blip.
Yes.
And fortunately for you, everybody around you had a blip.
Yep.
Now, when you had that blip and you were playing first and the teams behind you were playing after that, knowing what you had done, what was the...
Again, we got a job to do. Let's go out there and do the job.
That game...
all the week. Let's go do the job.
That game's done. Let's focus on the next one.
Don't worry about your game. Worry about what's behind you. Worry about what's in front of you. So we got to take game by game and play it. So what we was doing now, we win and they're playing behind us. The pressure's on them. Keep the pressure on them.
That's right.
Release the pressure from us. Keep it on them. You know what I mean? And
Lady, coming off that loss to Village, did you feel the psychological blow? Did you feel that they were taking full advantage of the momentum that came from that game?
Yes, I did feel it because of at that moment, I think we had a couple games that were not played because we were supposed to play Colts. We were supposed to play someone else. They got postponed. Guys had arranged trips and all sorts according to the schedule. things changed, and training became difficult for some reason for us. It became difficult. Mind shift for some of the players. I always worried about that from the beginning, because when I first went into Dannytown, it was a host of issues going on with the players, the mindset there, and it reared up after losing 2 games back to back. So it rears up again, so it's a deeper problem than what you think that's
Right.
happening. I mean, we guys talked over, and I know what was required, but the players just weren't up for that challenge. Especially after winning a trophy, they feel like they're invincible, but you're only as good as your last game in this game. Village has been there last couple of seasons. It's been between them and PAC, winning the league or fighting for the league. And Dannytown's been nowhere in the last, since they won the league. They just disappeared, as far as a force of winning the league. And fair play to North Village for going on. And I think the biggest difference in the league here was their goalkeeper and their 2 center forwards. They were able to win the games that possibly they weren't that sharp in, seize on the moments when they needed to. Like, for instance, the game you was talking about when I came in, when we played against them. Yep. My thoughts before the game is we don't need to lose this game, because we draw with Village. Village stayed where they are. I think they were 2 points behind us at that time.
2 points behind.
Yeah, and like you said, we had a great opportunity to take the lead, which was a nothing game. Like, Village could have taken the lead. We could have taken the lead. We had the best chances before they scored.
Yeah.
And in that match, that was a turning point for some of my players as well, because I didn't start with my strongest
No, you didn't.
11. Yep. And people were saying, why? But it's principles that you try to stick to. Guys have been away, all of that. And mentally, some of them are not ready for it. They're just not ready for a coach to say, you're not playing because you've been away.
Right. Patchy, during the season, did you run into any of that, with having to just sort of put your foot down and say, this is what I believe in, this is how the club operates, you're going to sit today?
Yes. I as a matter of fact, I have a couple of players that never train.
Ever?
But they tell me that if you need me, I'm there for you, but I'll sit on the bench. So I had to bring that to the players that do train.
Right.
You know what I mean? But same time, tell the young guys, you're not going to start.
Yeah.
And they had to adapt to that because of their work habits. They couldn't train. You know what I mean? But they're valuable players. You know what I mean? So it like Kyle says, it's a mentality. And if the player wants it and they believe, they should be believing in this man here, because this man has been places. You understand? So they should be believing in him. When he sits them down, they should be hungrier to come back and prove that even if I do go away, I come back, coach, I'm ready.
Right.
You know what I mean? So again, you have to explain it, make sure it's right, and like you said, be disciplined with it.
Do you find it more difficult because, this is Bermuda, this is not even professional, but, semi-hobby, with getting people to buy in, to believe, to respect what you've done in the past, respect what other, obviously Lighty's done what he's done. Rye has been places that most people will never see. Hopefully more do see it, but as we talk right now, he's been places that other players, haven't seen. Do you struggle with that in Bermuda, with the mindset of the younger generation, maybe thinking, I've already made it, I'm too good, this, that, and the other, or were your group pretty humble?
You have to stay humble, because if you ain't got it, you ain't got a trophy in your hand, you ain't done nothing. What have you done?
I hear
on his camp training.
I hear that
You know
a lot
what I mean?
about my club team I support.
Yeah, if you could be. Doesn't go around boasting because I beat Ton. No, I beat Ton to put myself in a position to have a trophy. Until I get that trophy, I ain't done nothing.
Yeah,
You have to stay humble.
I did see you before the last game, before the Daventry Colts game. Sorry.
Yes.
And I said, "What's up, champ?" You said, "Not till Monday."
Yeah,
I'll see you Sunday night, Monday. I said, "All right, Patchy,"
Yeah,
because we're from the old school.
Yes.
Until you got it, you ain't earned
Yes.
it, and you don't deserve it. You have to earn it.
You have to earn it, and you have to earn it with respect.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to earn it with respect. Coming up, I'm playing football and cricket against this guy here. He could tell you, if when you get into a team, one of them teams deal, if you don't have no respect, you're not gonna get no respect, and you're gonna go sit on the side. And if you don't come in, you don't come in. You don't buy in, you don't buy in.
Right. What you got to say about that as somebody that's sort of like that transitional coach manager?
A lot of times, Patches didn't really have to deal with none of that type of stuff because, like so myself and the older, more experienced guys,
Right.
we would deal with that.
And I was going to ask, what's the leadership like? Because like you said earlier, you've got Trey being won everything, right? He's been places and he's won things. Jonte, quietly, very good. Is he a strong leader? Then you got D-Trey, captain, bit off the wall, but that's all us goalkeepers. What is the leadership like on the player side? Jalen Harvey, another one.
But I think what worked well for us in terms of leadership is we didn't lead in terms of attitude. We led by putting in the work and the application. So it's like if you see the likes of, you said Trey Ming, he's literally won more trophies by himself than almost the whole team combined. His not missing a session, his on time, his putting in the extra yards. D-Trade, in my opinion,
with a bad knee.
with no knee, basically.
Right, yeah, fair.
D-Trade, in my opinion, the best keeper in y'all and not miss the session. They're coming straight from work, not putting in work, like turning free, playing every sport under the sun, still coming training, putting in the work. So it's like if as a younger player that ain't really established, if you see those type of players that's putting in the work, how dare you come and not put in the work and expect anything?
And that's facts. Somebody want to go grab the door? I think our goalkeeper has joined us.
Just what Roy's saying is so important. You know, the training aspect of it. Like, who's the leaders of the team? You need leaders.
Yeah, man.
You know, like for us, Dante was a leader.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
he was, you know, not as vocal as he probably would have liked to have been because of the mentality of some of the players.
Yes.
You know, so you try and help them, but they don't help themselves sometimes.
Exactly.
And that makes it very, very difficult. You know, coaching in Bermuda is a challenge.
Yes.
It's what you have to deal with players, unavailability for training, unavailability for games, unavailability for just a outright meeting. You know, and then they want to throw it back on the coaches and say, oh, we should do this, we should do that. How could we do something if you don't show up? Like you said, I know before you even said Trey, I coached Trey. He not hardly missed a training session, and he will be there, the first person there
every night.
You know, so
day one.
So he leads by example. You could put Trey on the bench, he ain't gonna grumble.
Nope.
You could start him, he's gonna play his heart out. You know what I mean? Like,
And
that's the difference.
Just talking about Trey, right? Trey was not playing this year.
I was just going to say that.
Trey came a couple of sessions early, we done Woody training. Right? Trey said, if you need me, coach, I'm going to be here. But I'm going to still train. But all I need to play. All right, Trey, on the bench. On the bench. On the bench. We got down St. George's to play St. George's the first game. He had to work. Trey Manders had to work.
Trey Ming's time.
Getting closer to the time. Miko. Yo. Trey's not here, but go Jack Box, man. Go ask Trey Ming. Can he do it? Yeah, boy says yes. Do you know the man started every game since?
I don't blame you.
He started every game since. With his knees, with his no knees.
Yeah.
But again, like he said, first training session. motivates the players. You know what I mean? So when you have guys like that, in your team, it makes your job a little easier. And with a nice little staff or coaching staff behind me, makes your job a little easier.
Now, we talked about your crazy captain, your goalkeeper, your shot stopper. They've called you a leader, too.
Let's go to beat on Sunday, too.
I told you.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
It didn't count.
Whatever, don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter. You know what I mean?
She hit the back of the net.
She hit the back of the net.
Rumors are you weren't offside either.
No, I wasn't offside.
Somebody else was.
Ooh.
I
That's
don't know.
what they say.
Pat
That's what
said
they say.
somebody else.
Somebody else tell me that somebody else was offside.
So we got to find out who was offside and they get dropped.
It clearly weren't me.
Because they took your girl away. But we have D-Trey Bell. I've spoken to these gentlemen. Congratulations, Captain, Skipper, on winning the league. Tell us, what's the season been like for you? Because we've talked about the fact that training was indoors. You haven't been out Bernard's Park for training all season.
Yeah.
You just got out there last week. Was it this week? Last week?
Last week, yeah.
You were able to get home and celebrate with the lights on. Talk to me about this season from a captain's point of view.
Honestly, you got to ask right here. From the very beginning, preseason, I was stressed.
I just learned this. You panicked.
I ain't gonna say I panicked.
Okay, well they said you panicked.
Does he?
I got anxious. Let's just say I got anxious before every game because there's nothing better than winning. I hate losing. I feel like that's everybody, especially in Bermuda. Like I didn't mind losing when I was away, but like in Bermuda, when you lose, it's like it's a different feeling because you got all these people that's just can talk so much trash to you after the game, and I'm one that could give, but I can't take.
At least you've admitted that.
I can't take. I hate it though, honestly. Like when we guys lost the Cougars, I was talking all this trash. We lost 1-0. Actually, us in the locker room for about an hour and a half, waiting for everybody to leave.
You had bets to pay?
And people were still outside waiting for me.
See, you might want to turn it down on how much you give.
Yeah, like,
you can't take.
but you know what I mean?
I asked him a question on the bench on Sunday. I said, listen to you. Now, somebody comes over and says, listen to you, what you gonna do? Your boy looked at me. Yeah, right, you know. I said, if you can give, you better learn how to take.
Yeah.
As long as you've been in football and cricket.
Yeah,
I owe you money too, actually.
We talk about that afterwards.
Speaking of cricket,
yeah,
I do owe you money.
We talk about that afterwards. But anyway, like I was saying, preseason, I was stressed. Because I heard Lighty saying it's hard to get numbers out when guys have got so much commitments outside of football. With we got teenagers that got school. We got parents on our team. We got guys who have wives now, guys got kids, all that type of stuff. So a lot of things come into play when it comes to training. So I'm actually really surprised this season I think one time we had training this year where it was like maybe 7 guys. And then for the rest of that, we might have had like 11, 12, 13, and then back to 11. And then we got that one time where it's like 15 or 16. But really, honestly and truthfully, it's just, like I said from the beginning, it was stress. But then as the season ran on, you just saw like things got a lot better with like the team camaraderie. We was winning, so obviously the camaraderie comes with the winning. And just like all the togetherness outside of football, we was trying to get together. In training, we held each other accountable. And I think after we lost to St. George's, we lost to St. George's 3-2 on the park, and that's when Frey came in and he gave us a speech. And before every game after that, we had a word. Frey would put in the group chat what the word would be before the game. And sometimes it'd be before the game or after the game where you would say what that word means to you. And sometimes the word would be accountability or grit. I knew February was freedom. And damn words come into play. Like when the word accountability came, I'm not gonna lie, Trey Ming was screaming accountability on the field against Colts the whole time afterwards. And I know he was trying to joke around and stuff, but you just saw guys just earn mistakes, right? And obviously in Bermuda we have this pride and ego thing where it feels like nobody could say anything to you. And I feel like that's been a big part of our success this season, where everybody held each other accountable. You took the information, you took the criticism, and I feel like that's a big part of why we became champions.
You know that accountability thing you're talking about? That's the whole give and take too, right?
Yeah, and that's where I'm struggling with that part
You gotta
too.
be a little more accountable there.
Yeah. No, I could take accountability. I could accept it when I'm wrong sometimes.
One thing,
But sometimes I'm not wrong. If you just listen to me, you know what I mean? Like, you guys, it's just how it is. Like, you know, like me and Trey, when we guys play a social club, I passed the guy the ball. Now, all this time in training, we're talking about passing the ball to each other, and he would give him a half turn. So I'm holding onto the ball, the striker's coming towards me, I pass him the ball. He gave the ball away. He thinks I gave the ball away. So the whole time we're looking at each other, like talking like accountability.
you know your coach is here, right?
Yeah, I knew.
All right.
It was 100% Dietrich's fault.
It was
Dietrich's fault.
He went sleep.
Him.
Yes.
Okay.
I think he might have been down there thinking of his girlfriend. Because he didn't have no play. He didn't have no play for a long period of the game. He had no play. Like, guess this ball on there, right? Field opens up. This boy's coming hard on Trey's back. Yeah, wait, real see ball. Not pass, not Chris pass to Trey, you know.
No, he rolled that hospital pass where his coming full fledged, and Trey has a deal to go 100 miles per hour with a trickling pass.
Listen.
And he was like, well, you should have kept it.
So is this
Asked for it, you should have kept it.
is this one of those situations like in that movie, like I'm right in 50 Cent's movie?
Yeah.
I'm right even when I'm not right. I could be right.
Yeah,
So
I
if you
know
just
that
listen
part.
to you. You're right because you could have been wrong, but
Exactly.
you're actually right.
But I'm actually right.
Yeah, you're actually right.
Exactly.
So you
pick
won
up
the
on-
league, right?
Exactly. So I was right in him. Right in him. That's all that matters.
No, we talked about, because obviously you joined us late, but that's fine because you're a working man. We talked about the little blip that happened sort of towards the end of the season where you may have slipped up, but other results then went your way.
Right.
You said you're a guy that panics, you get a little anxious. Did you panic? Did you get anxious when you had that little blip?
I did. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because since I came back home from away, the first season I played in Bermuda, we was top of the table the whole way out, the whole way through. Then we went and we drew to Dennytown, then we drew to Crossroads, and I think we drew to somebody else, and then we lost the league. Then last year, same thing. We drew to Dennytown again. We drew the social club. So then all that type of stuff starts to play in my head now where, all right, what lost to St. George's first game back from Christmas? You know, so now I'm like, damn, we can't do this again. This can't be the third time. And then when we had the opportunity to go, I think 5 points ahead, we dropped points to Cougars. So all of that, I'm just like, nah. Now I know that Dennytown's got 2 games ahead of us. So I'm like, no way we're getting ball in it again. Like,
Well, we actually talked about that before you got here also, was what happened last year and the year before. You know, Patchy spanking you up in the FA Cup,
yeah.
losing the do or die game, winner takes all. Dave said the general consensus among the team was that's not really something we're focusing on. It's motivation if you were here because you don't want it to happen again, but we're one game at a time. You were a little different. You was thinking
His special. His very, very special. I'm have to talk to this boy every Sunday morning, every Sunday night.
Every night, yo.
All season.
Yo.
He and what Rashid or Jamaica.
Like,
Hey, what do you think you should do?
Are you overthinking?
I was thinking, he's like, you should try this and try that. I was like, it's worked all season. Then it's like, yeah, you're right. All right, cool, let's go. And then after the game, he was like, yeah, you guys are right.
So, man, right. I can tell you, man, right.
So after 2 or 3 over things early in the season, you don't maybe say to the coach, "You got this."
Even though I know he's got it,
You still gotta.
That's just how I am. It just keeps my mind right, keeps my mind sharp. Like even before like the Colts game, I asked I was in that locker room like, yo, we cannot lose this game today, done.
It should because
And
we
I
spoke
spoke
about.
this.
We should. Well, we can get to that. We talked about your saves versus Dandytown in the game out the park, turning the New Year after you lost to St. George's. You made one on Beachy and one on Goda in the first half. Kept it clean. Kept it 0-0.
Right.
Ended up winning the game. Throughout the season, I have said between you and Jonte, Jai being as a special mention too. But between you and Jonte, you keep clean sheets, you score the most goals, you're going to win the league. Right. Liverpool's doing it. Same thing here. So you get to the Colts game, you're saying you're sitting inside, you're a little concerned that, you don't want that to happen again. You get a shot from 25 yards and you parry it right down the middle.
Yeah, that happens.
What were you thinking as that boy wound up to slam one at you from 12 yards? Which you say.
I actually don't even think I was thinking.
Yeah, I don't think you think a lot.
I don't think I was thinking.
That's goalkeeping though. We don't think, we just do.
You knew that. Exactly.
Well, you saved it.
In that moment, I just knew I had to make the second save.
I don't know if your coach saw this. Patch, did you see this? When he palmed the ball on the goal line, he was actually smiling.
Yeah.
I did.
He was smiling. But you kept it 0-0, and then Jonte and Jai put on a show.
Yeah.
And then one of the weirdest own goals I've ever seen.
Me too.
That was a strange goal.
The girl one. Yeah.
And then
I don't know what
he sent the keeper for.
The goalkeeper was going to play the ball across, but it hit the defender.
The defender just redirected it.
Reverted right in the near post.
Yeah.
But then you won the game. One of the young boys, Amir Dio. Is that Maceia's?
No. That's my cousin, Angelo Dio and Rockman.
Bro,
Andrew Rockman.
Okay.
That's Andrew Rockman's son.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's Andrew Rockman's son.
And then the party started.
Yeah.
I sure did.
Weight off your shoulders when that final whistle went, Patchy?
Yes, was weight off my shoulders because, again, we can go back to last year. We're getting back to Honey Park. This time was Honey Park against PAC.
That's true.
You understand? And
Took
last
all
year,
the pressure off.
last year I can remember Paget. Couple of weeks before that, there, came to Honey Park, took points off him. Yeah, that started it right there. Now, then they drew the Somerset. Then they had to go into the game against.
Yeah, we beat Somerset.
We beat Somerset 3-2.
Last minute.
Yeah, 3-2.
To make it
2-0 down.
It was 2-0 down.
Yes, right? So, now, we're getting to the Colts game. But now, how do you guys want to finish it? We must end it now.
And not a bad coach side on the season.
Not a bad Colts side on the season.
And one thing you know about Ray's team, they're gonna give. I think they were a little short that day as player wise, but they're gonna be 110.
They definitely miss George.
Yeah.
What's his last name?
Dublin.
Yeah.
They definitely missed him. I rate that player. This is a good center half. He reached the game pretty good, and he cleans up a lot for him.
Yeah, he's come a long way.
Yeah, he's come a very long way. And he cleans up for him. You know what I mean? So that was a little easy on us too, because he could have roughed up Jonte that day. You know what I mean? So that was really easy. But yeah, once the game was done, I said, "Well, it's over." No.
I just want to say those first 2 goals you guys scored that day
were fast goals.
As one of those ones on the first one where the keeper stays on his line,
he could probably get it.
He probably saves it.
Yeah.
But Jonte took a quick look, saw he was coming, the ball from Jai.
It was perfect.
On his left foot too.
On his left foot.
Realized it was on his left foot.
And then they switched.
They switched up.
Jonte's pass to Jai was even better.
Jonte, all he had to do was hit that.
Hit it in. You know what I mean? And like you said, them 2 guys, they are special guys. And the natural goal scorers. That's like Lighty and Good are playing in the national team together. Y'all can get a goal. Rather well losing 3-1. Y'all gonna see something special from these guys.
Well,
you know what I mean?
We saw something special from Lighty in the Corona League. So
no,
you're talking late 80s, early 90s.
Yes. And I saw, and guess what?
You were privileged.
I saw it before and after.
I saw the end.
Yeah.
Like I told these guys before on the show, the road to 94 was sort of my introduction to Bermudian football.
Okay.
When we was playing El Salvador in those games here. And it was just one side of the stadium and bam.
Yes, man. Yes.
You know, there's what it is. We was playing some football.
Yes.
And then obviously whatever happened and we lost this. But yeah, you do have 2 very special strikers.
Yeah, man.
I know you got a game to go. FA Cup final, Devonshire Cougars up the carpet. I personally feel like that could be a very, very good game. Cougars is sort of found form towards the end of the season. Have you started looking towards the summer, picking up players who you're going to lose, anything like that?
Yeah. You have to, because I'm got an aging team. If we're going to be real about it.
100%.
I'm got an aging team. So now I need to start picking And even if I could do what I done this year, but next year I might have to tweak it a lot more. There's some of my under 15s that's coming through that's playing on my under 15 team. That'll be 16 next year. I've been watching them, having a little look at them. Just bring them up, bring them up with these senior boys.
Right.
You know what I mean? I got a couple of guys that's 23, 24 years old that's can hang around for a little bit. But I got some guys that's over 30.
That's very true.
You know what I mean? And then I got some young ones that you see they got families now. You know what I mean? So we are looking at certain players, and most certain players we're looking at have some affiliation with North Village.
Right, so
You know
you
what I mean?
try and keep the
the
legacy going.
I don't want to go into nobody else's club and take what they have built.
Right.
You know what I mean? No. Your heart's right there, bro. Keep your heart right there. Yeah? Put some pressure on me to make me better.
So you're okay with maybe turning a player down who's offering their services to you by saying no, stay loyal where you are.
Yes, if
And
I
also, we're not looking for people that are coming because we're winning.
right.
We're looking
Right.
for people that either are village through and through, and that's one thing I rate about Devonshire Coates.
Yes.
Ray doesn't get outsiders, maybe for other reasons,
Right.
but he does a very good job with the
Yeah.
community he's got out there.
Because we're amateurs.
Yeah.
We're amateurs, yeah? So you're playing for the club you love. You understand? That's where you started. That's where you love. You know what I mean? Now, if your club's not doing what you want them to do in that arena that you're in,
And you put your time in.
and you put your time in and you're looking elsewhere, then y'all gotta have a look, but y'all gotta have a good reason why you're coming to me.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta have a good reason. Because I'm not getting this a guy that's been loyal to me that can play. You could do probably the same job. You might be a little better, but he doesn't give me the same job around the other platter players.
And he's been here.
And it's been her.
He's a village boy.
He's a village boy.
I'm not turning away village boys
I
for
can't.
people that aren't going to make me any better.
I can't.
I agree with
I
you.
can't because that's where they came from. And they had the mentality of the village. You understand? They had the mentality of the village. You know?
So I'm going to put you on the spot here right at the end. There was a lot of talk he was coming for one season. He's won the league, might win an FA Cup. Jonte going to be around next year?
I would say so. And I heard Jonte say he's at North Village until he retires.
Okay.
I heard him say that. He's at North Village until he
He
retires.
was just want to learn to St. George's anyway. You know?
He did say that.
He was
Yeah.
gonna learn.
He did say-
He had to pay some respects to his family and everything, but
And I'll tell you on that there, I told him stay down St. George's. I said, don't go back into Village right now. You know what I mean? Village was on a load something. I said, build something right here real quick. And then you got to it. He was going before I came. He
Okay.
had told me, like at the beginning of the season, he was going, I'm going to finish this off. This is my last year, then I'm getting back up the park for his papa.
Did he win the Golden Boot or no?
No.
He lost with
Three girls, DRG.
y'all just scored 4 goals against.
Oh, yeah, on the last day of the season.
And then he got one.
Yeah.
And then,
DRG ended up with 16, John Tate 13.
nah, it's not bad. How many Jai Bean get? You know?
11, 10, 11. Yeah.
No, when you're getting 25 girls from your front two,
Yeah.
you
complain,
can't complain. What about girls conceded? You guys win that race or?
Be sure.
He won that race.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we let him what? 14?
14 after probably 40 PAC.
Yeah, before the PAC game.
Yeah.
Almost as good as 9 in the lady.
Yeah.
What's none?
We conceded 9 girls when we won the league.
Who?
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood. Yeah, I remember that.
We conceded 1 goal second half of the season.
Yeah.
It was the last
I remember that too,
the
lady.
last
good?
game.
Absolutely not. We'd have conceded 9 girls in the first
Hey,
game.
this is where football.
You remember that? You might remember this.
Football is not fair in how they judge who's goalkeeper of the year.
Yeah, man.
Your brother got goalkeeper of the year.
Playing for Clippers.
No, he played for
Yeah,
Village.
He played for Village. Yeah.
He played about 4 or 5 games.
Yes.
In fairness.
Yeah, right, you're
And
right.
Our
You're right.
goalkeeper,
Jason or something like that.
Jason,
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
had an
Lottie.
outstanding season.
Yeah, I remember that deal.
And they,
And
But
he
that,
didn't
I
get
think the
picked.
Bermuda Awards that they picked for
That's
even
crazy.
MVPs and the Coach of the Year
That's
and all
that.
that.
That's all it's done. They should have a panel.
that's
good.
yeah.
Yeah, like how Ray won every single game but one. last
Oh,
season.
and didn't win.
And then win Coach of the Year.
Who did win Coach of the
The
Year?
year before that, Antoine didn't win it.
Yeah.
They got Patrick
Yeah,
Williams.
Yeah. Yeah.
When
Hey,
when I won the league with Robin Hood, I didn't win Coach of the Year.
hey, guys, that's what people calling me right now. I said, hey, again, I don't have that award to me yet, so don't say that.
Right.
Because anything could happen.
I tell you what, though, you're a league champion, sir.
Very much so.
You can say that.
I could sing about that. No, the fat lady has sang about the league.
She's singing.
She's singing.
She's singing. Now, Patsy, how do you turn around? Like I said, you got FA Cup. It's 2 weeks in between the last game of the season and the FA Cup final. You lost the Cougars towards the end of the season. How do you turn the focus from celebration to we got a final to deal with?
Again, we just go back to what we've been doing all this time.
Stick with what works.
Stay humble. Stick with what works. And we got to get the job done on the 20th.
You're looking forward to that?
Look, very much so. Very much so looking forward to it because I'm on the other side this time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm on the real side this time.
You're back home.
I'm back at home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I made my wife happy last year because she was enjoying it.
She is.
Yes, so no.
Time with his wife the other day. Still very much in love. This fella.
Sure. She's a part of this success.
Yeah. Hey, speak on it.
Yeah, she's a part of this success. She's been to almost every one of these guys' training sessions from day one.
Really?
Yeah, because we stay St. Jordan's, and she's like, I'm not going back down.
Yeah, she waiting, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a one-time drive. That drive once.
Yeah, right. At least we come up in the morning.
Yep.
We know, because our mamas.
And you make early time
Yeah,
too.
make 8 o'clock. Yeah, boy. She makes 8, we make 8, boy. So, you know, her, Miko, my coaching staff, you know what I mean? The 4 girls we have. The guy Tariq
Tariq Smith, put your heart in the cage.
Yes.
But let's call them out. You got Akila Fabric.
Got Akila.
April Jackson.
Tashay. King, and what's...
Tanae.
Tanae Russell.
No, Tanae, Hassel.
Hassel.
Yes, them, and then I have Jamiko Jennings and Tariq Dunbar Smith.
Put your heart in the cage, boy.
And
Rai.
Rai is our side guy on his side. You know what I mean? But he plays a good part for us.
I guarantee he does a very, very good part in what he does.
Does he?
You find it hard.
And he talks to John Jonte, you know. Yeah, he comes in the change room, he talks to them guys. Because he's been there as a striker. So, you know what I mean? And it's like older to them.
Right.
Yeah?
You older than Jonte?
No,
I was going to say.
Jonte is.
Yeah, well, most people are.
Yeah.
Right. How's that been for you, adapting to that role? I know you still want to play.
Yeah, sometimes. But then I realize every time I try to run, I don't miss playing.
Yeah,
But
fair.
It's kind of easy for me because I grew up around Village, you know what I mean? So it's like if I could help to bring back what I grew up at Village now, it's a win-win for me, and that's why I'm out there. Like I said, I don't consider myself one of the coaches, but I'm there in most sessions. I'm there every game if I can. And then whatever these guys are going to say, I respect it. But then if I have an opinion, I'll say, well, look, this is what maybe, da-da-da-da. But if they disagree, then we go with them, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I talk to the players more than I talk to the coaches as more of like a bridge.
Right, that's what I was saying earlier. You're more of like that bridge gap between...
Yeah, because the players are more inclined to be honest with me than they are with the coach. Just human nature, right?
Fair enough.
And I'm going to be real with them. At the end of the day, it's like I'm got the same interest from the player side and the coach's side. So I'm going to just keep it straight across the board for everybody.
So now, one more question. I know I said this twice already, but one more question. You giving these boys any banter? Liverpool about to win number 20.
I'm leaving that alone for now, you know what I mean? Like,
I know Patchy and Rye are two of the proudest
I ain't really...
Stratford Enders.
I leave that
He
to
ain't really a
Miko,
real
man.
Liverpool fan like that, so you know what I mean?
I leave that to Guns, because that's what he does. He comes in the locker room and talks his trash. You know, I just give a little something every now and then. But to be honest, let me show you something, right? Man, I ain't think about North Village.
You are like North Village, that's it.
That it.
I'm surprised you don't work down North Village.
Hey, bro, I'm surprised too. Any job on
I have no say.
Hey, bro.
The only job I could give you is goalkeeper. You seem to have that one.
So on that there, if you get 6 guys like him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you just take the rest and build it around him. So what happens now?
facts.
What happens now? The rest is getting feed off of what this man just said, and it becomes a family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A community. You know what I mean? Because that's, again, going back to Kyle's days. Kyle played with a community up at these Eagles.
We don't have that I just feel like we don't have that anymore.
Yes.
Look, quick story about what you guys are talking about as far as community, all of that. When you're coming up, you're playing. Back then, Vasco was a club coming through.
Yes.
And, when you look at Gumbo.
Yeah, man.
He played for Vasco for many years. And me coming through at PAC, I was seeing like the next sort of Gumbo.
Yes. Yes.
I'm playing for PAC, and we are such a tight knit. Vasco offered me a lot of money to come play for him. I mentioned that to a couple of my players. They said, "You go Vasco, we will break your legs."
Yeah.
But that's the way it was back then. And I could see what you're saying. Like I'm just thinking of things when you go around. Out of the 4 clubs, say North Village, PAC, Dennytown, and Cougars, out of the last 20 years, is there only Somerset that's won the league? Out of those 4 clubs.
And us.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, Robin Hood, yeah, but we're going off the, yes, Robin Hood 1 and 1.
You see how your boy disrespects his greatest
Yeah,
achievement?
the other one that was about to win,
No,
the pandemic came.
The pandemic came and
No, we won.
No, you won after the
You won
pandemic.
after the pandemic.
The year that they stopped the
They stopped
season
the
in
season.
January,
That's only 20th. That's 2020.
Robin Hood was going to win the
That's
league.
2020.
Yeah.
St. George's was going down. You know what I knew? St. George's and Coach.
And they got a
They gonna
You mean to tell me
reprieve.
they stopped the season twice because they stopped the season when Village won the league 2019.
We did. We literally won the league that Sunday and the Monday.
And we supposed to play in the FA Cup.
And we was going to play you guys in the FA
This
Cup.
was played.
This was when Jordan Barry was
When
coaching
Jordan Barry
Robin
was the
Hood.
coach. The season before that,
Yeah.
they stopped the league, and Robin Hood was like 10 points clear or something like that.
In January with a game in hand.
Yeah. January, yeah.
That was when COVID sort of first came
But
around.
saying that the most successful teams, are community clubs that,
Yes, man.
PAC, North Village, Cougars, and Dennytown.
Yeah, man.
Over the, a good period of time, they have their good moments. It's no coincidence, that a Village guy, a PAC guy.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like,
man. Yeah, man.
my mates up at PAC, they kick me now. Like, why you on Dennytown?
Need a job.
One of you boys.
It's not a matter of that. It's. I wanted to get back into coaching.
Right.
You know what I mean? The easiest thing to do is go coach PAC.
Yes. But first you want to get. And
You done that too.
Like you say that, right? That's how I got back in by going to St. George's and saying, let me see if I got this feeling again. And I told him when I left on there, I said thank you.
Yeah.
Because you gave me the feeling back. And I made my transition to North Village a lot easier.
And St. George's has been hungry
Yes.
for success.
Yes.
For, they've been fighting. Like, look how hard it is for St. George's to win compared to Village, PAC, or Cougars.
Yes.
Like night and day, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, Cougars will find it hard now because they probably haven't won anything in a couple years. Even for Dennytown, not won anything in a couple years. Yes, we won 1 trophy this year, but it's not a given.
Yes.
Whereas right now, PAC, North Village, you go 2 years without winning, people get a little anxious.
Yes. Because it becomes an expected now. It becomes a habit, like I said earlier. Becomes a habit. Winning and losing is a habit.
Sure is.
Yeah, you could get in a losing streak and y'all can just accept it. Or you could get a winning streak and y'all can enjoy it. And that's why you tell these guys, enjoy your ride you won. Because anytime the horse could walk,
Yeah.
and she could show you far. But stay humble. Stay humble. Stay humble. You will reap your rewards by staying humble.
Completely agree with you.
Hey,
there,
one
Reggie.
day we lose a lot of good players to good things. Like when I was playing, a lot of the players didn't go overseas like how they do now. At the age of 15, 16, they're gone. They left Bermuda. You never get to see them play, unless they come back once or twice. But we were like North Village, the amount of strikers you had.
Yeah, right.
PAC, the amount of strikers we had, Somerset.
Yes, right.
All these teams had abundance of forwards. Like
Yeah.
you're talking about the best 2 forwards in Bermuda. like Jonte and
Jai Bean.
Jai, and then you have Enrique.
Right, number one.
It's only a few, I mean, David's trying to break into that,
Yes, James, I like him. Yes,
but
he's trying to break
before, every team had two.
Yeah.
Every team had two that you had to deal with.
Yeah, you too. And then
I just
midfielders coming from deep.
Hey, I speak of, these guys have been in the golden boot with 16. I had 16 before Christmas.
I remember you
before Christmas.
Him and Darren Simons used to be running for the league girl scorers.
Before Christmas.
Before Christmas. Y'all saying who's going, how many they can get? How many they can end up with?
That's Duke.
Yeah. And these guys end up like 25 goals. Sometimes 29. Yeah.
The highest I scored in the league was 33.
See?
Who's got the record?
Well, I don't know. Baumler says he's got the record. So,
Bell?
Yeah. I don't know how much he scored, but
I got that 33.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I left Bermuda at 22.
Yeah.
So I think I would have broke 33.
Yeah, easy, man. He left Bermuda. He is born to have. He probably would have scored 50.
And if Goda would have stayed, he probably would have scored 50.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
exactly.
Here's my thing. I played 13 minutes as a striker. I scored. You played 15 minutes as a
I've
striker,
been on the field for more than 5.
and you scored. So if you play next year up top, 33 shouldn't be a problem.
Well, I'll talk to my coach over.
But they might let 33 in at the back.
You must have read my boy. You must have read my. Unless it's got somebody to replace it.
Yeah.
No.
I ain't playing. See.
Yeah. So,
Well, you guys also ain't seen him in training. That's why you think that he can maybe come on the field.
yeah.
You know what I mean, here's one of these standard killers in training. You know what I mean?
His team,
Yeah,
because we had done the job, allowed him damn little minutes he got. Because he'd have sat right there the whole game beside me.
Well,
But
if it mattered, he would have been in goal.
They scored him. No, I really ain't playing that day. Because he tell you, he gets excited.
Can't get injured.
He can't get injured.
Yeah, that's true.
He can't telling the ref, he would have told the ref over something, got a red card. I gotta manage him.
That was a big moment for PHC, and Marco got that second yellow
I think of
card.
that all the time.
Yeah.
If Marco, I'm telling these guys, if Marco didn't get sent off in that game against
They
the
probably would've beat
Blazers,
us.
they would have won Triple Crown that season.
Yes.
They would have beat us up the carpet.
Yeah,
in my
yeah.
opinion.
PHC
This is 2 years ago?
lost
Yeah.
Triple to North Village on 2 occasions.
Yeah. That was one, and then
When I was coaching
Yeah.
PHC.
Okay, go arrest yourself. But I'm telling you, I think I wholeheartedly
and
think.
like you said, that was playing in my mind the whole time. Once we got to the finals,
Yeah.
no, I'm saying, okay, well, these much league games.
Yeah.
Where do I get a chance to say, y'all on cards, come over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you have to.
Yeah, you have to, because this game here, getting off the carpet, you want your best. What you can get, you want the best. So you don't want your best player on the side. And because of cards, and you could have managed them.
PHC were handicapped that day. Revolt. Marco.
Yeah, man.
And I saw the yellow card that he got. Should have never been given to him, but because it was the foreign rap,
Yeah.
and the goalkeeper went,
Yes.
she gave him a card.
And I think Marco shouldn't have been in the field.
I was just gonna say that was one of those situations
They
where
were up. They went 2-3-0 up.
should have been off. He
Yeah.
coming.
He was-
Coming.
I think the score was like 6-0 or something like that at
And
the
he got the
time.
card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Patty, you don't have to, like you said, bless his soul. You don't have to deal with Mr. Warren up the carpet, but you do have to deal with Mr. Coddington, a village
Another
pupil.
one- yes, a pupil of North Village.
So I wish you good luck.
Yes.
I wish you guys all the best. One trophy's great. Celebrating a double's always better.
Sound like a real Arsenal person.
So yeah, I've never.
That's what he should be just now.
It's been a while. Yeah, we did beat Madrid 3-0, but I'm going to remain humble, as your coach said, because that stadium
Take 4.
exactly in the first half.
We know how that.
Yeah, we know how that goes.
Hey, I know no Arsenal fans are saying nothing this week.
I'm told them all. Hey, Halftime.
Relax, mate.
Calm down. That stadium and Anfield have demons or bodies or something buried underneath them.
Sure, buddy.
Because things happen there that don't happen anywhere else.
Yeah, buddy.
It's crazy. Yeah. But Coach, congratulations. Thank you for joining us tonight. Wish you all the best in the FA Cup. Rye, all the best. Congratulations. Keeper, all the best. Try not to panic.
That's
part of your pregame ritual.
Yeah. I'll tell you my normal violin didn't say
Hey, to be honest, you up right with him. May he rest in peace. A cricketer, Glenn Blakeney, bored off before every cricket game.
Serious?
And we'll go to him and beat the breath out of the ball.
So that day he scored 300.
Against me.
He
bored up, I guarantee. He has some days changing him, I guarantee you. I opened batting with him. I played a lot of cricket with him. He reminds me of him. He reminds me of him.
You don't throw up before every game.
No, I ain't.
Cool.
That's good.
Yeah, man.
Taking over.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
Nope.
Once the game starts, you're fine.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah.
I didn't sleep before that coach game, man.
That explains the first 5 minutes.
No, like he literally.
I literally didn't
No, I believe him. I was always cool when I got that first touch. Even if it was just like a ball over the top that you just go pick up. Right. After that, I'm in the game.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Making a world class save, or if you're in a mistake 5 minutes, then settles you down too.
Did you see what the volley did?
Yeah, that was good too. You made that look easy though.
That's part of the joke.
You meant to punch it that way, and the ball went that way.
I meant to put it back that way.
No, you didn't. Anyway, congratulations to North Village, Coach Rai, assistant manager, player personnel, director of player personnel,
miscellaneous, man.
DJ, captain. Congratulations, you guys. Thank you for joining us here on Top Bins.
Yes, thank you.
And all the best in the FA Cup final.
Appreciate it to you and your audience, and to Mr. Lightbourne, manners and respect.
Yeah, congratulations to North Village for winning the league. Yeah, well done, and go ahead and give it your best shot in the FA Cup finals. This is what sports about. May the best team win, and I think other clubs have to take that motto and try and carry it on.
All right, well that's Top Bins 32, and as we say, stay Irie.
Stay Irie.